prevention of constipation, non-drug treatment for preventing constipation. How to prevent constipation based on the causes that we talk about. The first one is dehydration. Dehydration can cause the slowing down of movement of waste from your stomach after you eat all the way out. And then the second one is also your changes in diet as well as changes in your activity. If your diet changes, that can cause that. And the last but not the least is if you take some medications which have side effects of constipation or side effects of slowing down the movement of material from top to the bottom, from eating all the way to when you defecate. If you are dehydrated, then obviously it is going to slow the movement of stuff down. Well, the body is such that if senses that you need water, if you need fluids, then it's going to delay the flow of material so that it can take time to absorb more water from the stool. So if more water needs to be absorbed because you are dehydrated, then obviously things will slow down because it wants to get enough time to get as much fluid from what you ate or from your gut as possible. So it will slow down movement. So if we prevent dehydration, then we will prevent the body from holding on to stuff we ate for too long because it wants to absorb water from it. So that is a way it happens. If we prevent dehydration, then we are going to prevent constipation because the body can easily get rid of matter. The other thing is, if you are dehydrated, then chances are that you are not drinking more fluids. In that case, your stool is going to be dry, so also causing what we call constipation. So it's a lose-lose situation. You are dehydrated. Because you are dehydrated, the body is not letting go of stuff quick enough, and also because you are dehydrated, most likely you are not drinking more fluids, and your stool is going to be hardened. It's going to be impacted because you are not drinking enough water, or you have not enough fluids in you. The more water we drink, then it's going to prevent us from getting constipated, right? It's as easy as that. It's good to be well hydrated. Drink more fluids. If you can't even drink water, you can drink fluids. Of course, not sugared fluids as people take it. Drinking a bottle of Coke every hour is not getting you any good because you are taking fluids, all right, but those fluids are filled with sugar, which is also a problem by itself. So getting water is the best, but anything like a flavored water, something that gets you fluid, it's something we need to have in order to prevent constipation. So if you are somebody that is easily constipated, you have to reassess your intake of water. If you drink water first thing in the morning, you wake up from bed, even before you brush your teeth, drink a full glass of water. It's good just before you take your shower and everything. And as you brush your teeth, as you stand on your feet with that water already in there, by the time you sit on the bowl to let things go, it would help not only to push down due to gravity, but also soften stuff up a little bit for you. So first thing in the morning, drink a full glass of water. If we could drink more, even better. But morning drinking of water is one thing to do to prevent constipation, to prevent the dehydration. And obviously drink throughout the day as much water as you can. I'm not going to give any specific amount of water for you to drink. If you are constipated, just reassess, doubling whatever amount you are drinking already in the day. Tripling it will even be better, but at least increase your water intake until things get better. Water also lubricates stuff up. So if you are dry and you drink more water, it's going to not only make it soft, but water has a nature of lubrication. It's going to lubricate stuff to make it easier for you to pass it out. So water is very important in treating constipation. As a matter of fact, before we go to the treatment, I just want to tell you that as part of the treatment of constipation, in people who are severely impacted, in people who are almost to the point of blockade in their rectum and stuff, one of the treatments is to use water. If you drink a lot of alcohol, you get easily dehydrated. And as we said, if you are dehydrated, then stuff will not come out easily, because things must wait. What you eat must stay in your gut long enough for the body to get as much water as it wants from what you have eaten. And as the longer it stays, it's slowing down the movement, causing impaction, and of course causing constipation. So alcohol is a bad thing for dehydration. It's going to cause dehydration, and not only that, but it's going to cause constipation. Caffeinated beverages, caffeine. Now, somebody may say that if I drink coffee every morning, I'm good. I'm able to go to the bathroom, I'm able to pee, I'm able to do all those things. It's good if you're used to 1 cup of coffee or 1 cup of tea or whatever it is, whatever caffeinated drink you have, it is good. What we are talking about is if it is in excess. If you drink too much coffee, what happens is coffee is diuretic. Coffee is something that makes you go to the bathroom to pee a lot, basically making you lose a lot of fluids, because that's how it is. It's a drug, actually. So coffee will make you dehydrated. If you drink so much coffee, you're going to go to the bathroom all the time to get rid of more water. And the more water you get rid of, the more dehydrated you become. So too much coffee will make you dehydrated. And as we said earlier, if you are dehydrated, you are going to get constipated, because it will slow down movement of stuff down the tube. If it's just 1 cup of coffee a day, maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, that's fine. But to drink a whole day of coffee every 3 hours, you can't function without coffee. That is that is something that's going to eventually lead you to dehydration. And so cutting down caffeine will be very helpful in preventing dehydration, and for that matter, preventing constipation. The other thing that we want to talk about that causes constipation is medications. If you have severe pain, most likely you have been also prescribed very strong pain remedies, pain medications, like the oxycontins and oxycodones and hydromorphones and the dilaudits, as you know, they are the same, and also the methadones and all the Nucentas, all the pain medicines that are strong. Those medicines you pick up at the pharmacy, and you have to be carded. You have to see your ID. That's a flag that is a strong medicine. It's controlled. Those medicines, not all of them, but I'm talking about those for pain. Those are the ones that are culprits here. Those come with slowing down of your tubes, of your GI tract. As a part of the side effect, they slow down the motility. They slow down the movement of stuff down from top to the bottom. To prevent medications that you have from getting you constipated, what we do usually is to have you take it with a mild stimulant or stool softener, or the combination of both. You've seen an over-the-counter product called Senaplas, or Dacusate sodium, which is just a stool softener. If you take that formulation together along with your pain regimen, it will make you able to go, because those also help you not only to soften the stool, but with the laxative portion, what it will do is it will cause your intestines to move a little bit. That way stuff can move and go down. The next one is your diet, which is a major aspect also. Changes in your diet. If you have a diet of one way, I don't want to say anything, but say your current diet, you have everything working out good. You go to the bathroom once a day, once every other day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and that is your usual body, how you do stuff. It's been like that all the time, and suddenly your diet changes, and instead of going once a day, now you're going once every 2 days, once every 3 days. Then your diet change may have caused stuff to slow down a little bit. So it is good to ensure that if you have a new onset constipation, reassess what are the new things you have introduced in your diet that probably is causing the new onset constipation. Now, on this part, if you say that you're not going to eat all the things that I'm going to mention, then you're not going to eat at all, because it's basically everything. But the key here is in moderation. Moderation. If I mention something, what I mean is you can have it, but don't overdo it. Or if you were doing it one way and it's leading to constipation, just cut back a little bit. But if it's something that you can stop, if it's something that really is bad and is really causing harm, then obviously stopping is the way to go. So let's jump right into it. So starchy foods, or foods high in starch, S-T-A-R-C-H, starch. If you eat foods that are very high in starch, then and you have constipation, then you have to reassess your diet. The culprit is white rice. White rice has, in fact, as a matter of fact, as part of treatment for diarrhea, some of the things we tell people to do to stop their diarrhea is to tell them to eat white rice. So that should tell you that white rice can cause constipation. White rice binds, and because it binds, if you eat a lot of white rice, most likely you are going to be constipated. Or polished rice. The reason I include polished rice in here is polished rice has been cleaned, as the name says, has been cleaned from fiber. Most of the fiber content has been taken out, and if fiber is not in there, then obviously it's going to contribute to constipation. The other thing is white bread. White bread is also high in starch. White bread. Potato bread, high in starch. Potato bread, white bread. And you can make the list yourself, anything of that nature. That, because I don't know all the foods you eat, but at least you get the idea. Starch and causes constipation by slowing down the movement of your GI tract. Other foods that I can think of, apart from potatoes, yams. Some people eat yams. Some people eat cassava. We also talk about plantains or green bananas. They can cause constipation if eaten so much. Or if you are eating in moderation and you have no problem, then yes, it's not a problem for you. But I'm talking to the person that is struggling with constipation or occasional constipation. Just watch how much of these things you eat. Again, you can eat them, but how much do you eat? How frequently do you eat them? The next one is fatty foods, or foods high in fat. And you can make the list again. If you eat those, then sometimes you could tell when you eat one kind of a fatty meal. Just take an example of eating pizza. If you eat pizza which is really high, I know these days they have pizzas of all kinds that don't have as much cheese and fat. But if you eat the ones that are really, you take the pizza out and you can see in the box that it is wet with fat. If you eat a lot of those, you could tell how long it stays in you. And you could tell it's not going anywhere. It's stuck in there because it's slowing down the movement because of the content of fat in there. You're not going to like me for this, but chocolate is really fatty. I mean, eating chocolate here and there is good. I like chocolate. But if you are the one that can just binge on chocolate, you can just eat rows and boxes of chocolate just for you, for whatever reason. Then if you have constipation, you can know what to blame. So eating in moderation, like I said earlier, is the key here. But at least it's good to know. So when somebody tempts you with boxes of chocolate to eat in one sitting, you can say, no, I don't want to be constipated because of the fat content in chocolate. As well as potato chips. Potato chips are fried very thin, but a lot of fat in there. And also fries also fried, a lot of fat in there. Now the caveat is, if you make it yourself at home, you have a way, like there are baked potato chips. I've seen baked potato chips, so those will be fine because they don't have a lot of these fat. The only problem is if the salt content is too much. So if you made it yourself at home, then obviously it would be fine. because you would reduce the fat, of course. And processed foods, processed fries that is processed. You can make your own fries at home again. When you cut your potato with the skin still on it, not peeling the skin off, you are including the fiber content of the potato. So with that, the idea is that you are going to increase the fiber, and for that matter, it will counter much of the high fat that is in there. And obviously, I'm also believing that you're not going to over fry it or keep it in bad oil for too long. So homemade is better than when you buy it outside. That leads me to talking about fast foods. Fast foods also contain a lot of fat. So if you eat a lot of fast foods, you're most likely going to have constipation. Not only do they have high fat content, but they have no or very minimal fibers, because they are processed. They want to just make the food quickly and get it out the window for you in the drive-thru or wherever you are picking it up. So we can't blame them so much. Once in a while you need to eat there because there's nothing around, or you are in a hurry. It's okay. They also have high sodium, and high sodium content by itself also can slow down motility, can slow down the movement of stuff down the tubes to make you go. Why? Because when you have a lot of sodium, when you have a food that is high in sodium, your body is made to have a consistent amount of salt in the blood. So your body will find a way to dilute the salt that is picked up, and the way to do that is to pick up more water from you. And sodium is a culprit in a lot of diseases. Reducing sodium content in foods will help you manage your constipation. The other thing is dairy products, milks, cheeses, and the rest. Again, it is good to have milk. Milk and cheeses contain a lot of our source of calcium, and so we need to drink milk and we need to eat cheese. But as I said in the beginning, how much are you eating? If all you do is eating cheese morning, lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and in higher amounts, then obviously because of eating so much, it's going to slow down your tube. So when you eat, stuff is going to linger around for a long time and it will make you constipated. The other one is some people are allergic to gluten, or they react to gluten some way, and if you are such a person, then obviously avoiding foods like wheat, barley, and rye, which are good sources of gluten, will be a good thing for you. So if you avoid wheat, rye, and barley, then you will be avoiding gluten. So if you react to gluten not well, it's going to make you constipated. If you eat from these sources that I've mentioned, it's going to slow down again, stuff from going down, and you become constipated. The next one is sugar. You eat a lot of cake, very sweet, very fatty, and the result is constipation. It's okay, but you got a party, you have to cut cake, you got to eat cake. It's fine. Again, it's moderation. But if you are the one that binge on cake, every 3 days you got to go to the supermarket and get cake. You got to go buy yourself some cake. All the time, the sugar itself in it is causing trouble for you. For alcohol, especially if you're a believer, I hope you're not drinking alcohol. But if for any reason you drink alcohol, remember it causes dehydration, and dehydration causes the slowing down, and the slowing down is your constipation for you. So if you can stop alcohol, that's the better. If you cannot stop and you have to still drink your alcohol, then moderation again, just a little bit, not too much, because it will get you constipated. And the way to go about it is to drink water in between when you are drinking your alcohol. If you're drinking a pint of alcohol, at least I'm hoping that you don't drink a pint. But if you drink alcohol, whatever, however it came, whether through a beer or wine or whatever, I hope that you take breaks and drink water in between. That helps a little bit. All right. Now, that is it for diet changes that you can do to prevent you from having constipation. Now, the other thing you could do is activity. Changes in your activity will help you prevent constipation from coming on or from becoming worse. You know, if you exercise, you activate the smooth muscles in your GI tract, you know, the smooth muscles all the way from your mouth all the way to your anus. You activate them to move. Exercise is good for almost everything. You know, anything that we will talk about, I'm pretty sure exercise will come up. But in this case, where we're talking about constipation, exercise, as you jump around, as you walk around, as you go on the treadmill, whatever you do in exercise, as movement is done, the body's parasympathetic nervous system will ensure that there is movement. The smooth muscles will begin to contract and relax, you know, movement here and there, and that will by itself cause stuff not to be stuck at one point. It will force things to go down. So one thing that I think will help you is, for those who are already suffering constipation right now, I mentioned that drink water, a glass of water, maybe an 8-ounce glass of water in the morning. After that, if you can, go right on the treadmill or go exercise, go run, go do something with increasing activity. And after that, go back and sit on the bowl. I'm telling you, you are going to do it. As a combination for solution, drinking water and exercising, or getting fluids and exercising, will make sure that stuff do not get stuck. It will come down. So very, very important there. Now, if you are in a sedentary lifestyle, somebody who is stuck in one place for a long time without moving, most likely you have problems with constipation. Don't do that. Just stand up and walk. Plan your activities, your daily life activities with exercise in between at some point. 3 exercises in a week for 30 minutes is good. If you can run or do a little bit every morning, that is even better. But at least your 30 minutes workout, especially the aerobic workout, especially ones that will make your heart race, those were the ones that I'm pretty sure will cause constipation to diminish, especially when you do it with drinking. So changes in your activity will help you in your lifestyle to deal and prevent constipation from coming on. So I think this is all that I'm going to talk about for prevention of constipation, non-drug treatment for preventing constipation. But for now, I hope that these preventative measures we have discussed are enough to actually stop using medications. But if you have to, we're going to go into that also in a later video.